transcripts. And this is the one thing.
Yeah.
We can't have one standard for Democrat election workers and not Republican.
But Ronna, ultimately, there were 250 audits. They never found there was any corruption. Did you not have a responsibility as the RNC chair to say before January 6th, the election is not rigged, that Donald Trump lost, given that there were audits, given that there were more than 60 court cases that occurred all across the country, and that Donald Trump lost?
The reality is Joe Biden won. He's the president. He's the legitimate president. I have always said, and I continue to say, there were issues in 2020. I believe that both can be true. You can say massive laws were changed. They were changed through courts or through secretaries of state and not through the legislative process in the name of the pandemic. That took away safeguards to the election.
But you acknowledge those, what you're talking about, did not rise to the level in any way of overturning any of the state's election
in November,
results.
which, by the way, is when that call took place, in November.
Yeah.
The election happens in November. We're getting so much incoming. We have a job to say this was done correctly. And I'll just finish about Wayne County. You know, there were precincts that didn't align. That's a fact. That's not propaganda. That's a fact. So why can't you say, hey, listen, these precincts aren't aligning. Let's take a look under the hood.
Let me just stop you, because you just said Joe Biden's a legitimately elected president. This is the first time you have said this.
It's not. I have said it many times.
Well, this is what you said a year ago to Chris Wallace. I want to play you what you said.
Are you saying, as the chair of the Republican Party, that you still have questions as to whether or not Joe Biden was the duly elected president?
Joe Biden's the president.
No, I didn't ask you whether he's the president.
No, I don't think that. I think there were lots of problems.
He won the election?
I think there were lots of problems with 2020.
Do you think
he won the election?
Pardon?
But ultimately, he won the election, but there were lots of problems with the 2020 election. 100%.
And that's fair.
But I don't think he won it fair. I don't. I'm not going to say that.
So you didn't say he won it fair at that point. Can you say, as you sit here today, did Joe Biden win the election fair and square?
He won. He's the legitimate president.
Fair and square?
Fair and square, he won. It's certified. It's done. But I do think, Kristen, let me just say something.
To say that, why has it taken you until now to be able to say that?
I'm going to push back a little, because I do think it's fair to say there were problems in 2020. And to say that does not mean he's not the legitimate president.
But Ronna, when you say that, it suggests that there was something wrong with the election. And you know that the election was the most heavily scrutinized. Chris Krebs said it was the most secure election in modern history. When you say there were problems, it suggests still that you're giving credence to these allegations of fraud.
States like Pennsylvania go from 260,000 mail ballots in 2016 to 2.6 million, saying, you know what, when you get rid of ID for all mail-in ballots, that's a concern. We should all be concerned about the care, custody, integrity of every ballot. But that's all I'm saying. And you know what? This is a viewpoint of a lot of Republicans, and they think Joe Biden's the president, but they also think there were problems, and both can be true.
But even the Supreme Court, Ronna, didn't take up concerns about the election results in Pennsylvania and a slew of other states. Let me just stick to, though, I want to allow you to continue to answer questions about your role in